Welcome to European Railway issue number 65, the DVD magazine for the continental enthusiast. In this programme we travel to Belgium to look at passenger activity in the north and west of the country. Switzerland is our next port of call as we cover part 2 of our look at the lines around Oensingen. We pay 2 visits to the Dresden area of Germany. The first a quick visit to the main line out towards Leipzig, and the second a look at Class 143s in action on the route towards Chemnitz. The Netherlands has just seen the final phasing out of the Plan V units. We go in search of the class during their final months in traffic. A visit is made to the main line north of Orléans, one of the last strongholds of locomotive-hauled action in France. Finally, we head east and a look at diesel action in Slovakia. We begin this edition of European Railway in northern Belgium, not far from the town of Dals. The purpose of our trip is to sample some of the typical passenger train formations to be seen in this part of the country, which is not much more than an hour's drive from the port of Calais. Heading west on Monday the 10th of October 2015 are AM96 unit numbers 480 and 481. Forming the 1037 service from Antwerpen Centraal to Lille in northern France. As this service crosses over 2 different countries, the units employed are of a dual voltage design. Heading train IC432, the 0947 from Valkenraad to Kortrijk is number 1894. The train is formed with double-deck M6 coaching stock with loco number 1873 on the rear. In mid-December 2015, Belgian Railways signed an order for over 1,300 new type M7 double-deck vehicles from a Bombardier and Alstom consortium. The new trains will see the elimination of 130 of these AM80 3-car electric multiple units. This is the station at Luz on the Bruxelles to Tournai route. Class 21s are slowly having the amount of passenger turns reduced, with some locos transferring duties to the freight sector. The class can still be found on some services between Tournai and Schaerbeek, but not as many as there were in 2014 when this shot was taken. Here number 2149 departs with the 1744 Tournai to Schaerbeek service on Saturday the 4th of October 2014. In the opposite direction we see 2160 on a service for Mouscron. Moving north to the station at Froyen, we see the same locomotive hauling the 1806 from Schaerbeek to Mouscron. This is the following morning, on Sunday the 5th of October 2014. We are just northeast of BELGIUM. This is 2114 with the 0705 service from Mechelen to Kortrijk. Since this film was taken, the Class 21 hauled services have been recast and largely replaced by AM96 units. The Class 21s now being focused on rush hour trains out of Brussels to various locations around the country. This is the view from the road bridge at Oensingen. And this looks like the easiest way to keep your lawn in trim. We now move north towards Brugge as we position ourselves 2 kilometres west of the station on the route to Ostend. Approaching the camera are AM96 units numbers 443 and 478, forming the 0948 from Kortrijk to Ostend. In the opposite direction, Class 18, electric, number 1820, is on the rear of this, the 1044 from Ostend to Eupen. These trains were originally worked by Class 13 electrics up until May 2012. Six minutes later, and it is the turn of 1840 to power at the rear of this, the 1050 from Ostend to Antwerpen. Since this was filmed some 18 months ago, the main motive power on the line are now Class 18, AM08, AM64 and 74, AM80 and AM96. There is just one turn each way during school days, which utilises a Class 21 electric. Class 13 weren't diagrammed along this line at weekends, so number 1356 was somewhat of a rarity. Even more so when the train in question was an extension of Eurocity train 97, the 1309 service from Brussels to Basel. We are now on the outskirts of Ostend, as number 1884 powers at the rear of this, the 1244 departure for Eupen. The train is crossing over the canal that links Ostend with the town of Newport, just a little way down the coast. Following along just 6 minutes later, and 2751 is seen heading the 1250 service for Antwerpen. At the time of writing in March 2016, there were no Class 27 diagrams into or out of Ostend. In the opposite direction, number 1816 with 1847 on the rear approach the camera. Finally, it is the return of 2105 on the 1311 service from Ostend to Courtrai. We continue now with part 2 of our feature, looking at the line from Deitingen, north of Oensingen, including the private OeBB at Balsthal. Oensingen is our first station stopover, as we position our camera at the north end of the station as the main line swings east towards Olten. Approaching the camera on the evening of Thursday the 17th of September 2015 is number 11366. The locomotive will later work an eastbound freight for Herkingen. (11605) rounds the curve heading the 1634 service from Eclapon to Limmertal. There are regular passenger services through here, with one loco-hauled working each way per hour, the rest being worked by units. On the rear is 460-111, powering this, the 1703 from Konstanz to Biel. Local services operate between Lumisville, Solothurn and Olten. These are generally operated by these Class 523 units, initially introduced into service from 2004 onwards. Number 053, which is seen here, is from the fourth batch, produced between 2012 and 2013. Class 923 are new hybrid electric shunters, which can also be powered by an onboard 360 kilowatt diesel engine. Heading west with train 50734, the 1937 from Herkingen to Dayens is 11278, seen running around 6 minutes early. After waiting for its path, number 923020 departs with trip number 57339, the 1949 service to Herkingen. The co-op milk train from Oensingen to Stabio brings a BLS Class 465 to the line. Here number 015 drifts through the station with the 2015 departure, seen running exactly 17 minutes early. Due to wagons being located in front of the main station buildings for much of the day, either the platforms or the northern end of the station car park provide the best locations for observations. Rounding the curve is 11167. As 46024 draws to a halt, RE44s, numbers 11368 and 11246, head for Limmertal Yard with the 1937 service from Biel. Just a couple of kilometres south of Oensingen is the station here at Niederbipp. Arriving with the 2010 service from Olten is unit number 523053. Note the dual gauge track nearest to the camera. Train 5184 from Aarau to Lausanne heads west through the station behind 11238. Train number 50078, the 2040 from Herkingen to Delance, heads west behind 11237. This is the 1856 from Niederbottingen to Oensingen co-op train headed by BLS class 465 number 465016. The Aare Zeeland Mobil AG operates trains between Solothurn, Oensingen and to and from Langenthal, using a fleet of 6 modern meter gauge light rail vehicles, such as unit number 113, seen here arriving from Solothurn. It's possible to see up to 6 freight services per hour along this line during the busiest periods, especially in the evenings when feeder services make their way to the various yards and distribution centres. This is 11366, which we saw earlier on at Oensingen. We now move to the 4 kilometre long single track line north of Oensingen, operated by the Oensingen Balsthal Bahn. Our location is here at Balsthal, as unit number 205, which is ex-SBB unit number 540019, leaves with the half-hourly shuttle service for Oensingen. The OeBB has operated the line's passenger service on behalf of SBB since 2005. During our visit, the depot housed these 1944-built Class CE22 electric shunting locomotives. Number 103 is officially withdrawn. And this is TM 237 911 under repair. We could see two of Classic Rail's preserved RE441 electric locos in attendance on the line's depot, including this one, number 10009, dating from 1945. The loco is seen working the morning trip freight from Oensingen to the nearby Teller Kimberley factory situated next to the station. The railway's other Class 540 railcar, number 540074, usually handles the line's freight traffic, but may well have been out of action at the time of our visit. The unit is seen on the depot. The other Classic Rail RE441 was number 10016, another class member dating from 1945. 540019 arrives again with a service from Oensingen. From the December 2015 timetable change, SBB had provided a Class 560 unit as replacement, and number 019 was reportedly sold to a private individual and moved to Payerne. Number 074 remains on the line. The line also has its own Class 560 unit, number 56000, now renumbered as number 207. The unit is generally kept in reserve. For our final few shots, we return to the car park to the east of the main station buildings at Oensingen, as 460038 departs with the 0915 BL to Konstanz interregional service. 11363 and 11360 head east on this ballast working shortly before 10 AM on the 18th of September. Running around 20 minutes late is number 620042 on train 66517, the 0840 departure from Cornau to Niederglatt, north of Zurich. Finally, 460068 arrives on the rear of this train from Konstanz to Biel. We hope that over the two parts of this feature that you have been able to get an insight into the trains and traffic to be found on this busy northern Switzerland rail line. We travel to the Saxony area in Germany now as we take a look at rail action just to the west of Dresden, as well as on the line from the city out to Chemnitz. The first location is on the busy freight and passenger corridor at the suburban town of Cossebaude, before we concentrate on one of the last strongholds of Class 143 operations between Niederwiese and Freiburg. We begin on Tuesday the 23rd of September 2014, just south of Cossebaude station, as 186244 approaches the camera at just before 10 to 5 in the evening, with a southbound train of empty car carriers. Heading north is 101133 with the 0525 service from Budapest to Hamburg. The service was running just under an hour late. 415006 forms the 1619 from Dresden to Frankfurt. Junkers Ju-52-3M is a common sight around the country on pleasure flights and operates under a Lufthansa ticketing system. The aircraft started flying for Lufthansa on the 10th of April 1936, before being sold to Norway and fitted with floats for coastal work. After the war, she went to work in Ecuador, before moving to the USA and finally back to Germany, again for Lufthansa, in 1984, ready for the airline's 60th anniversary. A more modern mode of transport now, as we see 442-150 heading north. You can expect 3 passenger and around 2 freight services in each direction per hour along this line. The old order is represented here as 155261 heads northwest with a loaded car train. Container-based traffic is common on this line, typified here by DB's 189008, which is passed in the opposite direction by 120-134. (185-150) is next to appear, this time with a trainload of containers carrying car tyres. Finally, we see 442152 heading back north. The line that heads due west out of Dresden sees regular Class 143 operated services to Freiburg, Chemnitz, Zwickau and Hof. However, from 12th of June this year, most of these services will be taken over by Mitteldeutsche Regionalbahn, using brand new Continental Coradia Class 440 electric units. We begin here at Niederwiese to view the old order in action on the 29th of September 2015, as 143875 heads west with the 0653 service from Dresden to Hof. (143947) leads the 0627 service from Hof to Dresden. The 0702 from Annaberg-Buchholz is operated by this Class 642 diesel unit, seen arriving formed by unit number 228. Class 642s operate many of the branch line services in the area. This one, number 056, is forming the 0808 from Chemnitz to Obernhau-Grüntal. West of Freiburg, this line will not see any locomotive-hauled passenger workings from the start of the summer 2016 timetable, so sites such as this will be consigned to history. Here 143366 slows forming the 0707 service from Dresden to Zwickau. This is the station at Falkenau South, as 143360 appears around the corner, forming the 0807 all-station stopping service from Dresden to Zwickau. At the current time, you can expect 4 Class 143 operated trains along this route every hour. The station here at Kleinschirme is just about 5 kilometres to the west of Freiburg. It sees an hourly stopping service, these being the Dresden to Zwickau trains, mostly operated by Class 143s. This is 143814. Heading east, and we are at our final location in this section, here at the town of Freiburg, around 40 rail kilometres west of Dresden. 143366 departs in an easterly direction with the 0939 service from Zwickau. GEG's 650057 railcar arrives with the 1035 service from Balsthal. One 143919 arrives with the 1053 service from Dresden to Hof. The Class 143s have been the mainstay of passenger services through here for decades, and the changeover to the more modern Coradia units in June will be yet another nail in the coffin for this venerable ex-DR machine. Our final view shows 143116 rounding the curve to the west of the station with the 927 service from Hof to Dresden. In this section we pay a short visit to the Netherlands to capture the dying days of the Plan V round-nosed electric units before their official withdrawal in December 2015. We chose two locations, the first close to Deurne on the route to Venlo and the other to the east of Tilburg on the route to Balsthal. Number 4247 and 4040 pass the camera. Our location is adjacent to the small village of Greensvane, home to many small lakes rich in waterfowl. Approaching the camera on Sunday the 4th of October 2015 are numbers 40085 and 4236, forming the 1549 service from Venlo to Tilburg. Running 10 minutes behind, and we see 406011, forming the 1329 Frankfurt to Amsterdam. NID number 7543 heads east towards Venlo. These are the main replacements for the Plan V units as a result of rolling stock cascading. We now move west and to the eastern outskirts of Tilburg, again on the evening of the 4th of October 2015. Approaching the camera is electric locomotive number 1744. It was 5:30 when we saw our first Plan V unit, number 465, seen here forming the 1704 service from Eindhoven to Tilburg. This is fellow classmate number 446. Although officially withdrawn from service in December, 30 of these units have been retained by Dutch railways as standbys, being used as required. However, complete withdrawal is now expected in March this year. It wasn't long before number 465 retraced its steps back to Eindhoven. Locon Benelux have 7 operational ex-Dutch Class 1800 electrics on its books for container and other freight traffic. Here number 9903 heads towards Tilburg with a container train bound for Rotterdam. Finally, ex-DDM set, now NID 7543, begins to slow for Tilburg, with the 1719 service from Venlo. We now move to France and to the main line north of Orléans on the route towards Paris. We've visited this line on several occasions over the years, and today it is still one of the last classic main lines in France where locomotive haul trains dominate the action to be seen. We begin just north of the town of Tory, some 84 rail kilometres from Paris-Austerlitz station, as two G1206 locomotives, the first one being 9181-525, head this northbound loaded ballast train on the down relief line towards the level crossing number PN51. This crossing is still controlled by a crossing keeper during daylight hours, and is believed to be the last one remaining on this stretch of main line down to Orléans. The date is Thursday the 8th of October 2015. Heading north is locomotive number 7270 on the 1132 service from Orléans to Paris. This locomotive entered traffic on the 2nd of February 1979 and is one of several allocated to the intercity sector working out of Tours. It's very unusual to see electric multiple units along this line. Here, 3 Z21500 units, normally used on services from Orléans to Nantes, are deputising for a failed locomotive on the Orléans to Paris circuit. The units in question are numbers 61, 32 and 13. Heading north through the heat haze is 26049 in Ghost livery, hauling the 1119 service from Tours to Paris. Just over a kilometre north of the station we see our 3 Z21500 units heading back towards Paris, with the 1328 service from Orléans. The same location but a different date. This is the frosty morning of the 17th of February 2016, as 7275 powers north at the head of the 0649 from Bourges to Paris. (26025) is in charge of the 737 from Paris to Tours. (7221) heads south towards the camera with the 0828 service from Paris to Orléans. This locomotive entered traffic on Christmas Day 1976 and is currently in the all-over grey Ghost livery. Not long behind the previous train is 26032, seen working the 752 Paris-Toulouse. (26072) heads past the town station with the 0704 service from Limoges to Paris. Whilst locomotive haul trains remain firmly in control over this line, the introduction of the new intercity electric units in 2017 will begin to make significant inroads into the current traction scene. (7223) is next to show, hauling the 928 from Orléans to Paris. Freight traffic mainly runs at night over these lines and is less common during daylight hours. Heading north is 27103 at just before 10 AM. Finally, heading south we see 7295, with a 9:26 service from Paris to Orléans. In our final feature in this programme, we travel to Slovakia and to the east of the country, where it is diesel traction that takes centre stage, as we look at action on the cross-country secondary route to the west of Košice. Our journey begins just to the south of Pleševice, before we continue east towards Moldava nad Bodvou, Cheche Ovce, Turnia nad Bodvou, Jablonov nad Turnou and Lipovnik. We begin just south of Pleševice on Thursday the 24th of September 2015 as 754052 heads south with the 1523 Košice to Zvolen. This is the yard at Pleševice as 742021 bursts into action. The 742 was yard shunting locomotive during our visit and was kept very active with sorting out wagons from incoming trip freights and other feeder services. There are 25 Class 757 diesels used for passenger operations, having been rebuilt from Class 750. Here 757016 is seen arriving with the 1201 service from Bratislava to Košice. Freight sector class 751, number 118, arrives with train number 82253, the 1700 departure from Lübeck. The following morning we were greeted with continuous drizzle when we made our way to Moldava nad Bodval. 752047 has arrived from Volkia-Ida and is about to return light engine as train number 51177. The 9:30 returned to Volkia-Ida, but this time with no traffic in tow. The train left some 50 minutes early. Not long after, and 751199 arrived from the west, forming train number 82211, the 0650 from Rozniava. Seven 123 and 076 are seen running light engines back to the yards at Košice. We'll be seeing more of these two later. Another 10 minutes passed and 752030 and 047 head east with train 61111, the 0730 departure from Pleševice to Košice. The 923 from Košice to Bratislava was running around 15 minutes late when it left the station behind 754053. Our filming is from the west side of the station. A few kilometres to the east is the station here at Chechey-Ovchay, as 757018 accelerates east at the head of the 0713 from Zvolen to Košice. The local grain silos here generate a small amount of rail traffic to the line, which is served by 2 daily trip workings, which call as required. Look at this little gem marooned on the internal track work. There are 5 passenger workings each way per day on the line through to Plesevic, with an additional 10 local services each way per day between Košice and Moldava nad Bodval, which has another station on the branch to Mezdev. Unit 712042 is working the 1105 service from Moldava nad Bodval to Košice. This is a revised service linking a newly opened station. The service operates every 2 hours in each direction. We are just west of Turnia nad Bodval, not far from the town cement works. The hills in the background mark the border with Hungary. Highlight of the lunchtime session is this: train 71246 from Haniska to Plesevic. Here we see and hear 751076 and 123, providing the power. We are now on the northern side of the yard at Pleschewitz, as train 51300, the 1121 from Košice to Stotzok, arrives behind 752047 and 752020, with 742277 dead in tow. Departing the station, we see the 0801 service from Bratislava to Košice, powered by 754053. This locomotive will have powered the train forward from Zvolen. Meanwhile, down the other end of the station, 752047 and 020 have shunted out 742277 from their train and are ready to continue their journey west. Also busy at work is 742021. (757.018) heads west with the 1323 service from Košice to Bratislava. In our final part of this section, we move to the country station at Lipovnik, as 754053 is seen returning west at the head of the 1523 service from Košice to Zvolen. Finally, in the opposite direction, it's the turn of 757006, with the 1201 from Bratislava to Košice. The time is just after 6 p.m. We end this programme with two freight services passing Dunkirk Grand Sint station on the 5th of October 2014. The first is a trainload of steel headed by 27060 and 056. Finally, rounding the corner is 66032 on a trainload of limestone from Cafier. As the train disappears into the distance, we hope that you have enjoyed watching this edition of European Railway.